Right, so today Gordon faces a mammoth challenge and a moral dilemma in what is part 3 of this insane Hotel Hell saga. So over the past 2 videos, we've seen just how evil Juniper Hill Inn owners Robert Dean II and Ari Nicky truly are, with Gordon's investigations into what's going so wrong with their business that they're losing hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, leading him to witnessing them treating their staff horrendously and hearing about how they relentlessly underpay and overwork them. He began doubting whether he even wanted to help them. And then in the final scene we saw, Gordon caught Robert red-handed stealing his employees' tips, and as a result he stormed off. However, as angry as he is, Gordon has decided that he cannot leave the staff behind in that horror show, and he wants to make sure that they're being treated fairly before he goes. So first up, he hatches a plan to enable Robert to free up some money so that he can finally pay his staff. To kick things off, he sits down with Robert to talk about the vast number of antiques that are stored around the hotel.
At a suitable auction, maybe $300,000.
$300,000, and that would supplement you for the next 12 months, 18 months?
Yes, that would certainly get us through. That would get us through 2 years.
So Gordon hires a group of white club movers to assemble all of the antiques, oil paintings, silverware, and goodness knows what else that's currently cluttering the hotel and overflowing the basement and storage units, and put them on show in the hotel lobby. By confronting Robert with just how much there is, he hopes that he'll be able to convince him to sell some of them and use the proceeds to pay his staff and keep the business afloat whilst they turn things around.
Walking in, it was shocking.
Now, antiques, oil paintings, silverware. Does it not, frustrate you that we're sat with all this and yet we can't pay our staff properly?
So far, it looks like Gordon's plan is working. To get a better idea of how much this is all worth exactly, Gordon has enlisted the help of the head auctioneer at Bonham's in Boston. Unfortunately though, it's not good news. She says that Robert's collection is more of an accumulation, adding that it includes lots of copies rather than originals, that many of the items are not actually of the period they're supposed to be, and that among what otherwise would be the valuable items, there are some severe condition issues. As a result, she reveals her valuation of it all, and it is devastating.
I would say about $25,000.
$25,000. All this?
All this.
Robert is understandably shocked, in no small part because he had no idea that his accumulation contained items that weren't originals. To make matters worse, Robert then realises that the ongoing costs of storing all of this is greater than the value of the items themselves. As they say, a fool and his money are soon parted, and I bet there's a local antiques dealer that has a sports car or two dedicated to Robert. Anyway, with no assets to fall back on, they have no other choice but to fix the business now, and Gordon says that that starts with treating the staff better.
They're not pigs that live in the fucking basement. If you think that's not the case, and you're that delusional, and you're not prepared to listen to anything I'm saying, you're fucked. Sell the inn, sell this shit in here, and give up.
Well, with that advice out the way, Gordon moves on to the second part of his plan. He begins by assembling a handful of guests so that Robert and Ari can learn from their experiences. And unsurprisingly, they aren't good. The first couple revealed that they were disorientated by the layout of the hotel and by the lack of signs, and another say that their room was cold and unwelcoming. Once again though, Ari is completely unable to sit back and take criticism on board without snapping back.
I had space heaters to heat the room up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 3 of them.
When I checked the room, it was like a sauna.
He sounds aggravated.
Raise your hands if you'd come back, please.
Not like it is.
Not like it is.
If he can't take gentle constructive criticism from a guest, I am seriously concerned about how he's going to handle Gordon's ruthlessness later on. Evidently, it's not just the hotel's practices that leave a lot to be desired. Ari is just an absolutely terrifying individual. He looks like he could murder that poor man with his bare hands. He's the type of innkeeper you'd expect to find in a crime novel or a horror movie, not the front of house in a warm and welcoming bed and breakfast. Well, unsurprisingly, a hotel inspector also called in by Gordon Ramsay shares the same concerns as the other guests. In response, Robert says that he's disappointed to hear all of this and that they're in the business because they want to please their customers, so clearly they're failing. With the reviews now finished, Gordon pulls the two of them for a private chat. But before we hear what they have to say, a quick message from today's paid partnership with BetterHelp. Listen, life can get tough. Sometimes, like with Ari and Robert, things aren't going well and stress can get the better of you. Other times it can be mental health issues like depression and anxiety. But whatever it is you're struggling with, therapy can give you the tools to approach your life in a very different way. Unfortunately, finding a therapist can be hard, and finding the right therapist can be even harder. That is why BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy accessible. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easy because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out just a few questions, BetterHelp can match you with a credentialed therapist in as little as a few days. And if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a common thing in therapy, you can easily switch to a new one at no additional cost. It is so easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. All you have to do is click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/arthurtv. Not only does that link help support this channel, it also gets you 10% off your first month at BetterHelp, so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. So if you're struggling with anything at all, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Remember, the link to that is in the description, or you can visit betterhelp.com/arthurtv. Huge thank you to BetterHelp for supporting this channel. Now let's get back to the video.
I'm not saying that I don't like the guests, but if you have ever been an innkeeper, it's 24/7.
I would seriously request both of you actually sit down and reconsider whether you should be in this business going forward.
Next on the agenda is the kitchen. Gordon saw the other evening just how disappointing dinner service was, but thankfully running a good kitchen is something Gordon knows plenty about. So he sets up another elaborate scheme. With the current set menu coming in at an extortionate $74, Gordon challenges Julian to spend some time coming up with the cheaper one. Eventually he comes back with a new menu that can be priced profitably at just $29, and that can be produced more quickly and in larger numbers on busy nights. Gordon approves, and to get Robert on board, he decides to trick him. He gets Gillian to cook up meals from both the old and the new menus, but instead of getting Gillian to serve them to Robert, he serves them himself, claiming it's his cooking and that the new menu was his own creation. After trying both, Robert says he absolutely loves the food and prefers what he thinks is Gordon's new menu, and only then does Gordon reveal the truth.
Now, I'm flattered, but there's something I need to tell you. I didn't make any of this. Julian cooked everything.
I felt at that very moment that I had done Julian a disservice.
Given how he's behaved previously, I thought Robert was going to absolutely flip out here, but his response was surprisingly mature. Even more surprisingly, Robert then acknowledges that he's been holding Julian back, apologizes for doing so, and once again says that the food is delicious. It's a nice side of him to see, and it makes him realize that he should be sharing a similar sentiment to all of his staff. So the following day, Robert sits down with Ramsay to plan something.
I feel regretful that I have come across in the way I have, and that I haven't exhibited to my staff the leadership they needed and the compassion that I must be void of.
This kind of self-reflection in these shows is rare, so fair play to him. And it doesn't stop there. He says he wants to tell his staff that he knows that the place wouldn't be able to function without them, and that he wants to do everything in his power to show them that they can make this work. So he gathers them all, sits them down, and makes his speech.
You are all valuable, and I fear that we have not always expressed that. And we want to show you that we are going to make a difference.
Robert then goes on to apologise specifically for the late pay, for taking tips, and for the overall poor communication from management. He says these are all things that can change and will change, and the staff seem receptive to his promises.
I want to help him, and I believe what he says.
And I'm very proud of you, Robert. You're the man that I've always known and loved. He's coming back.
I wanted to stand up and clap.
I did too.
This, to me at least, is somewhat redeeming. He's taking accountability by acknowledging his mistakes, apologising for them, and promising to do better. Obviously, he's got to actually follow up on his promises when the time comes, but at this point, I don't think there's much more you can ask for from him. Anyway, Gordon's next plan of action is to take Robert to an inn down the road to help him realise that the locals aren't so bad.
You are like a fish out of water right now, honestly.
The Upper Valley is filled with amazing people.
The Juniper Hill is not
I know.
filled with local people. Wouldn't you welcome this atmosphere?
Oh yeah.
This is surprising. It's a complete change of tune from him saying that they want to have the right clientele and that they don't want the local community ruining their ideal of what the hotel's customer base should look like. To make him put his money where his mouth is, Gordon dares Robert to stand up and address the room. And surprisingly, he actually does it. He introduces himself, says he's from Juniper Hill Inn, and extends an invitation there to everyone.
We just want to tell everybody we'd love to have you all up at Juniper Hill Inn. We need the help right now, so if you can come up and have dinner or just have a drink and just say hi, it would be great. Thank you.
Nice. Well done.
Well done indeed. But before they leave, Gordon has one more thing that he wants to talk to Robert about, and that is Ari. Whilst Robert clearly has a friendly side to him, Gordon just doesn't see that in Ari. And as a result, he wants him to be supporting the business from behind the scenes, working on the admin and financial sides of the business, rather than taking on any client-facing roles.
You know, he's very stern, but he feels deeply.
He can't express it though, can he?
He can't. He's emotionally constipated.
So he's not going to be the
No, he's not.
But he can provide a phenomenal amount of support behind the scenes.
Cheers to that.
With Robert in agreement, they seal off their pints and head back. Overnight, Gordon's team gets to work, giving the hotel a makeover, and the following morning, the place is unrecognizable. So, with it being Gordon's final day, next up, it's time to see if his changes have laid the foundations for success, or if he's going to be leaving another hotel that's doomed for failure. So, if you're curious, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.